I asked ChatGPT to give me a prompt, something different, something that isn't quite often talked about, and then just talk about it. And the prompt is, when did you realize your body was trying to protect you, not limit you? I love that so much. I spent my entire life, 30 years, since I was born, just being told that I was different, being told that I was, I don't know, weird, too much, too sensitive to this, to that, and just like, most people, I learned to override my body. And when I saw a need that wasn't typical, I would say no. And when I had moments where, I would get excited for something tiny, or when I had responses to certain sounds, etc., and I was just like, what is wrong with me? And over time, I just was like most people, where I tried to be the same as everybody else because that was safer. And what's so interesting is that I was never safe. And somehow I still kept overriding my body because that was the only way it was anywhere close to safe, And when I was diagnosed with PTSD in 2020 and realized I've been having symptoms of PTSD since I was 8 years old, I was like, what? But again, it was like, oh, psychological. That's what most people think, Trauma is psychological. And that's what I thought back in the day. And I was just like, if I do this, if I do that, it'll change. And when I started to truly see the cost of what I have been through, things that happened that shouldn't have happened, I started to notice that there was this quite unease that I didn't want to address. I didn't want to be like, no, this is it, I felt discomfort, and it's like a veil that was, the curtains dropped, and now suddenly I'm just like, whoa. Because I was trying to not see what was right in front of me. And what was right in front of me was that I was not prioritizing my own self, that I was overriding my own body. And the cost of that on my own self was enormous. And still, there I was just trying to get moving, keep moving. And it was October 5th, 2024. I had an appointment with an asylum lawyer who really dealt with the declaration form, like you're supposed to narrate your journey, and I've had such significant trauma that narrating it was incredibly difficult, and she did not be sensitive to that. So what happened was literally I narrated one instance that was significantly traumatic, and then she was like, okay, what happened? What happened next? So to her it was highlight reel. To me it was reenactment, like reliving every moment of that experience. And after that time, and at the end of the call, she was like, oh, I have another appointment, I need to go, bye. And after that, I was frozen, and the week that followed, I did not remember anything about what happened in that 1 week. I was significantly dissociated, and when I started to come back to myself, like remember things and start to be more conscious and aware of what is happening, and realize that I was dissociated for all this time, I just was like, my body is ruining my life. I remember I reached out to my psychiatrist, who I've been seeing for years. And I remember she said one thing that stuck with me for a very long time, is that she said, Harshini, your body is trying to protect you. When you feel unsafe, when you went through something so horrible and you don't feel safe in your own body, your own environment, you are so unsafe that the only thing your body can do is try to protect you by sending you into the background so that it can keep you alive. Your body is not the enemy. It's trying to protect you. And I'm really glad she said that to me, because that changed how I viewed my life. It really did. And then there was this admiration that started coming towards my body, because I started seeing all my life, all the times I had trauma responses, all the times I had dissociated, all of these times where I was just like, my body is, doing the worst. My body's the worst. My body's causing me pain. My body is this. My body is that. And I was just like, wow, the amount of harm I caused my body just because I did not understand what it takes to survive something that is unsurvivable. It later struck me that if there was this one time where, like million things that were happening, the worst things that you've experienced in your life all happen at the same time again, would you be alive? Would you be able to handle that? Answer to that for me is I wouldn't have. So my body sent me into the background, buffered me and shielded me so that the intensity of what had come up, what had surfaced, started lowering to a point where it wouldn't harm me as much as it would otherwise have. And I'm grateful that my body did that day, that week, actually all my life. I'm incredibly grateful for my body. And here's the thing that is so interesting to me, that there are so many people out there who talk about body, and then there's another something there, right? Body and mind, body and soul, body and X, body and Y, body and this. And for me, when I say body and I do not mean any of those things. What I mean is me, the me that I am, is the conscious self that is only here when I am conscious. When I am conscious is my conscious self. And then my body is the holder, the constant self. It's always here, always taking input, always processing, always noticing, always taking in every single thing that's happening, things that will never come to my conscious surface ever, but that live behind with my constant self, which is my body. There are a lot of people ask this question of if there was something that makes you remember of some incident, even if it wasn't traumatic, just, there are some sounds, some scents, some, scenes, whatever that might be, that remind you of something, or that just register as safe or unsafe, or register towards how you feel about somebody, etc., right? We all have these associations. And what's crazy to me is that we all want to truly, so strongly in society believe that everything is conscious, and it's not. Because if I enter a room, my body takes in hundreds of data points, hundreds of little things that will never even come to me. My body scans for safety. Is there a threat? Is this safe? That's how our bodies are biologically wired. That's the role they take, is to protect you. That's their primary role. So they're constantly taking input in every way. And I, the conscious self, lives inside that. I'm just part of that bigger system. And that, what comes to me, is things that my body deems appropriate and important and safe for me to process or act on. And it took me a long time to realize that I only have limited access to what my body experiences every single moment of every single day. That changed how I saw my body. There's so many people that take that for granted, like it's just your body, it's just your body's. I'll wake up another day. I will keep doing this one thing because, my body will deal with it. Because it's convenient for everybody else. And slowly, we've come to a state where we don't really care about our bodies, do we? And when care is framed, it becomes about how your body looks, how your body does this, how your body does that, but not how your body actually is and what it already is doing. And I'm glad I have a body that keeps going and kept going in spite of everything, and actually navigated through everything and still kept me alive and found ways to keep me alive. Whether that was dissociation, whether that was, shutdowns, whether that was everything. I am here because my body does these million things every single second to keep me here. All of our bodies do. Just so we could move our finger, our bodies have to run millions of tiny adjustments, precise balances, and we never think about them. We never acknowledge it. We don't see our bodies as a relational being. And that saddens me, because if we saw us for who we are, if I saw me for who I was, it would include me and my body, not just my job, my role, my this, my that. I am me because of my body and because of every single thing I navigated with my body, learning with my body, and because my body kept going despite everything that even I did to harm my body all my life. And if there's one being that I would truly give all the credit and all the honor, all the gratitude of being my true companion and a true partner and a wonderful protector, that would be my body, my constant self. And I'm proud to call this body mine. And I'm grateful that I get to be here. So, yeah, I realized my body was trying to protect me after 30 years of overriding and harming and blaming my body. And now, when that curtain just fell of what I was, covering up to not, be different, not be this, not be weird, whatever that might be, I see myself most clearly than I ever have in my entire life, because I see me, all of me. And when that happens, you see the reality of the body that kept me alive in the most amazing, intelligent, and adaptive ways it knew how. And it still does, even right now. My body, definitely not something that limits me. It's something that guides me now.